As we get closer to next year's presidential primary, it appears that Donald Trump has started to unite the party around him. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time that we talk about the 2024 Republican presidential primary, because everyone, it appears that Donald Trump, yes, the Orange Man himself, has not only taken a large lead in the primary, we've known this for a while, but it seems like large chunks of the GOP leadership, especially at the county level, which has been more hesitant to Trump this cycle, it appears that they are starting to get behind Trump in large numbers. Yep, the mystical endorsements for DeSantis that, will suddenly change the election. Well, the same survey that showed a bunch of county chairs being hesitant towards Trump earlier this year. Well, now it appears the door's shutting for Trump opponents, as most county chairs are starting to get behind President Trump again. But first, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. Now let me be clear. I am not saying, the county endorsements will suddenly flip and Trump is going to win 90% of the vote in Iowa. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, however, that the same metric that the Sims were using months ago about county chairs are endorsing DeSantis, or at least supporting DeSantis, in fairly large rates. Well, the same survey just released, and it's not a good look for DeSantis. And it may be an indication that even the party itself, not just the voters, but the party, is starting to realize it's over. Trump is more than likely going to be the nominee. It's time to get behind him. So let's just get into it. All right, let us start with the article. Donald Trump has held a substantial lead among Republican grassroots leaders for months, but there was still room for other candidates to break through. Now the door appears to be closing. So Trump was, he's always led on this category. Obviously, he has the most endorsements, I believe, of any candidate by far. Even at the local level, he does. But these county chairs, they have been more favorable to DeSantis than, say, congressional endorsements. I mean, for crying out loud, DeSantis is like 2 from the House of Representatives. Trump is like 130, I think it is. So basically, every other metric indicated DeSantis was getting crushed with these endorsements. But county chairs, on the other hand, while they were backing Trump, it wasn't by a 90-10 margin or something. It was much closer, with a lot of county chairs being undecided. That's according to my latest survey of GOP county chairs from across the country. Among this group of Republicans, the 2024 presidential campaign has looked somewhat more competitive than it has in other polls. Notably, a large contingent of respondents had remained undecided, giving Trump opponents some hope that they could win over a key constituency in the party. Those hopes may be fading, however, as more uncommitted chairs are coming off the fence and backing Trump. The survey of GOP county chairs is part of an ongoing effort to track the so-called invisible primary for the GOP nomination, which is being featured in Politico, blah, blah, blah. So their idea is, the idea with the survey is, they want to see how does party leadership, how are they looking? Now, again, county chairs are not necessarily, the top brass in the RNC, but they still are critical to the party itself. They're influential in local GOP areas, and they are endorsements that can be critical for infrastructure for campaign and support and all of that. So that's why they've been tracking this, and I'm actually fascinated by it. I do like that we're kind of seeing how, at least the more outside part of leadership, how they're looking at the GOP primary. Because they have been more hesitant to Trump for whatever reason. Some have some okay excuses, but some, they just want to go back to the Bush wing of the party. We got to go back to 2004. Which that coalition is dead, but whatever. As director of the Center on American Politics at the University of Denver, I sent this survey to roughly 2,600 GOP chairs, one for every county in the country. 104 chairs responded during the first 3 weeks of October, about the same number who responded for the last survey in August. So again, this isn't going to be 100%, it's exactly what's happening. It's not exactly the every single county chair, but it is a sizable amount of GOP chairs. 104 out of 2,600. I think that's a reasonable sample. The first question asked was simply whether the county chairs had committed to supporting a candidate, and if so, whom they might be. When I launched the initial for February, Trump was looking vulnerable. He was roughly titled Florida Governor DeSantis among those who had committed to a candidate, and both had support in the upper teens. In the following months, though, Trump and DeSantis numbers diverged, and the trend is now accelerating. The most recent survey shows a 10-point jump in support for Trump, up to 37%, while DeSantis has dropped 4 points to 9%. Perhaps just as importantly, the percent of uncommitted county chairs, which had remained around 50% for much of the year, fell to 39%. The pool of chairs up for grabs is shrinking, with the first contest of 2024 just a couple of months away. So yeah, Trump is just accelerating for support within the party, and we've seen this in the polling. And the same thing for DeSantis. He's crashed. But the most important thing, a lot of the undecideds, they're committing towards Trump. Or a chunk of them are committing to, say, Haley or whatever. But it's clear that Trump is picking up a large chunk of these undecided county chairs. I mean, this graph shows it all. Back in February, Trump was at 16%. Then he started to go up slowly, right? But then, from August to October, he went from 27% to 37%. But just look at DeSantis. He did lead in February. This is when I think DeSantis peaked. Back in February. Absolutely. That's when I supported DeSantis. Remember, I was undecided, but I was leaning towards DeSantis and many others at that time. Because I thought, okay, he is going to be an effective version of Trump. Or that's what I thought. Then his campaign happened and, yeah, went down the toilet. But the most important thing is, look at the uncommitteds. They have been going down and down and down. And they're not necessarily going to DeSantis. Sure, other candidates are getting some support. But Trump is clearly picking up the vast majority of these uncommitted chairs. The second measure of candidate support asks chairs which candidates they are considering. And they can name as many as they want. DeSantis was at the top of the measure for the first 4 surveys, even as his numbers declined. Now, for the first time, DeSantis has lost the number 1 position to Trump. DeSantis' support on this question dropped to 1 only modestly, from 57 to 55%. But Trump shot upward, jumping from 52% to 64% of chairs. I mean, look at this. Trump was at 43% in February. Again! This was a lot of the base saying, wait a minute, Trump, we gotta think about this for a second. But now it's like, everybody's starting to realize, wait a minute. This Trump, we want Trump back. He's our best option for next year. And even the county chairs are starting to admit it. And before people say, oh, county chairs don't matter, I'm not saying county chairs are going to decide the election. But it's the very same metric a lot of the dissimps on Twitter used back in February, used back in April, used back in June. That, oh, the party is getting behind DeSantis. Well, that's crashed and burned. And you just look at opposition. The opposition to Trump, this was a thing that stunned me. He went from 44% of county chairs saying they did not want Trump as the nominee to only 29% in a couple months. Well, DeSantis, it's going up and up and up, slowly but surely. And I actually think it is about 20% of the base doesn't want DeSantis no matter what. Even if Trump he's the nominee, I think 20% of the base would not vote for the guy. It just shows you that he had his chance in February and he blew it. He absolutely blew it. And now Trump is starting to unite the party. You're seeing this everywhere. You're seeing it even on Twitter, for crying out loud. These people saying, I said I was never going to vote for Trump. But after realizing that's stupid and thinking for a couple weeks or so, if Trump is the nominee, I'll support him. You're seeing this in the polling. As we get closer to the election, Trump's percent in the polling, not just the margin, but what he's getting, is going up. He is uniting the party based on every metric. There is a primary still going on, obviously. But these numbers indicate two things. Or three, actually. One, the party's getting behind Trump. Two, DeSantis is done. This mystical thing that he's going to get the support of the party and stuff. He's not even getting that. He's not getting the support of the establishment, or kind of the establishment of the GOP. And number three, funny enough, this is correlating to the polling we're seeing for the general and the primary. Trump is getting the base behind him. We just got to see what happens, but I'm starting to think that the party's realizing Trump is the only option. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.